Facebook is in damage control mode following claims of spreading hate and division. An employee turned whistleblower testified before the US Senate on Tuesday after leaking a trove of company documents. Now, in a lengthy response on his page to that, CEO Mark Zuckerberg denied prioritizing money over the platform's users.
All right, guys, so I'm not in the UK at the moment, as you can see. I'm actually on holiday in Dubai. But I'm going to make this video anyway, whilst I'm on holiday, which I kind of told myself that I wasn't going to do. But I hope that this is going to be useful to those of you who do watch this. So let's talk Facebook, because Facebook has been in the news quite a bit over the last week or so, ever since the whistleblower came out. And basically the stuff that's been coming out the SEC. There's been a lot of strong language used in addressing the allegations made against Facebook. But what I want to do in this video is I want to kind of talk about it from an investor's point of view. Is this a bad investment, or is it still a solid investment? I mean, I hold Facebook within my individual share portfolio, and I'm sure I hold Facebook as well within the ETFs and the index funds that I also hold. Facebook is a big, big company. I mean, the market cap is $1 trillion. This is a platform and a product, a service that is deeply ingrained into the fabric of life as we know it now. Social media, I mean, look, I'm on holiday. I'm still making a video because of connecting with people on social media. And Facebook plays a big part in cultivating a community of people who connect, who communicate, who learn, who earn a living, period. And this is the world that we live in right now. Now, there's been a lot of stuff said.
But I'm here today because I believe Facebook's products harm children, stoke division, and weaken our democracy. The company's leadership knows how to make Facebook and Instagram safer, but won't make the necessary changes because they have put their astronomical profits before people. Congressional action is needed. They won't solve this crisis without your help.
Now, I think the real big problem that we have here is that there seems to be this notion that Facebook has a monopoly on social media. Now, don't get me wrong. I hold Facebook as an investment, as an investor, as an investment as well. And my experience of Facebook and the entire group is not good. I mean, look, Facebook consists of WhatsApp, Instagram, and obviously Facebook. And on Instagram specifically, many of you will know, my account is being cloned by scammers 4 times so far. You cannot speak to a person in Facebook or at its Instagram to get this kind of stuff sorted out. And it is a cesspit for misinformation. It is a cesspit for all of this really ugly stuff that, if I'm completely honest, we could definitely do without in society. And this is the real allegation that's being put forth against them. The fact that they are, or it appears that the algorithm and way they are set up as a business benefits interaction and engagement over the safety and well-being of the people that actually use the platform.
During my time at Facebook, first working as the lead product manager for civic misinformation, and later on counter-espionage, I saw Facebook repeatedly encounter conflicts between its own profits and our safety. Facebook consistently resolved these conflicts in favor of its own profits.
And in this specific example, they're talking specifically about young women, which is absolutely true. I mean, because like, what age do we live in right now where, you know, you've got the Kardashians being such a big figure and women aspiring to that kind of body shape when these people can afford the best medical treatments, the best operations, the best medical procedures on the planet. And that microcosm of perfection that young women have to now aspire to is definitely unhealthy. The other thing that they're labeling at Facebook is misinformation on the political side. And I think we've seen that most definitely through the Trump administration and the run-up to the Trump administration. Many people will argue that we've seen that as well in the campaigning when it came to Brexit, and definitely some of the stuff that we've seen with Oxford, what was the company? I remember the name, I'll pop it on the screen right here. But it's true, they do have a responsibility as the biggest social media platform on the planet. But again, is this still a good investment if you hold it as an investor? Now, look, you can take two looks at this, and the moral side of things we've kind of already spoken about. I've outlaid it just a moment ago. But from an investment point of view, you want your CEO, your person who is running the business that you are invested in, to basically make decisions that are in the benefit of the bottom line, which basically means that the shareholders get to make money, and as the shareholders make money, they gain more investment. That's how investing actually works. And a lot of criticisms have been labeled at Mark Zuckerberg as not really showing any leadership through any of this. I mean, he was apparently on a boat trip when all of this was kicking off. But he has come out and he's defended vehemently what they're doing over at Facebook. Now, I'm not here to answer the question of whether what they're doing is right or wrong, but what I do know is having a look at their stock price over the last 5 days. What are we looking at here? We're looking at, this is on, what day is this? This is on the 1st of October. The share price was at $344 a share. We then saw a very, very sharp drop on the 4th of October, where the share price was at $331 a share. And as I speak right now, the share price is about $335 a share. So we've seen a bit of a dip in the share price as a result of all of this news. Now, we don't know what the SEC or the Senate or anything like that is going to do. There's a lot of talk about breaking Facebook up. Do I think that will happen? Well, quite possibly. But what shape, what form that will take, we don't know. One thing you can definitely bet your bottom dollar is that Facebook has got a lot of money, so they will fight it from a legal point of view as vehemently as they possibly can. But at the moment, are they a good investment? Look, the share price had actually fallen. We've seen that. But you cannot negate some of the basics, the fundamentals that are pertinent to Facebook as an investment. Yes, they were down for 6 hours as an outage across WhatsApp, Instagram, and Facebook as a platform. And yes, they lost millions and millions of dollars during that 6 hour period. So the question is this: is Facebook still a good investment to hold on to if you hold it within your stock portfolio, either as an individual stock or as part of your index funds and ETFs? If you're investing in index funds and ETFs, by the way, you don't have to worry about, thinking about whether you need to move your allocation or anything like that. That's going to be done as part of the function of having an index fund or an ETF, particularly if you are in an actively managed solution. If you're in passive, then it may get updated, but it may not. Essentially, these strategies are basically set. But if you do hold it as an individual stock and you're trying to answer the question of whether you should continue to hold this, look, you have to do what you feel is right for you. But this is where my thinking is. There isn't a social media network that comes anywhere near close to being in competition with Facebook. And this is one of the big allegations labeled at them. They have a monopoly. There is not another social network. And as long as we live in a society where social media is key to connecting, to communicating, and for business, then Facebook is still going to be a solid investment moving long term. Now, the risk is that if the US government decides that they are going to break up Facebook, then potentially that may yield some problems for us to be concerned about a bit later on. But what we do know is this: Facebook is a very large company. They have a lot of cash. They will fight this vehemently. And really, can the Senate actually do that? That is a big question. We don't know. These are all unanswerable questions right now. We have to wait and see how the land lies. What happens and how they respond is going to be extremely important. But ultimately, it comes back to, what do you want from a moral stance and what do you want from a stance as an investor? As an investor, you need a company to be making money in order for the profits to be there, and therefore for the share price to increase and for other investors to come through that cycle. You can criticize Mark Zuckerberg all you want, but he's doing the right thing from a investor's point of view. And that's going to be one of his biggest priorities. Does that absolve him or absolve Facebook of their moral responsibility? Absolutely not. I think if I were to look at this from a balanced point of view, yes, it's a great investment, but Facebook definitely have some work to do to try and make sure that they're able to level out that moral and investor's interest, because at the end of the day, you start to question whether you can invest in a company if the impacts of their product or services are negative in the world. And this is why we get into the conversation about sustainable investing. It's a big thing right now. So another question, does this make Facebook an unethical company to invest in? I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments. I definitely have my thoughts. That will be for another video. But let me know your thought in the comments, and let me know what you're going to do with your Facebook holdings if you hold them. But guys, thanks so much for watching. I will see you next week.
We care deeply about issues like safety, well-being and mental health. It's difficult to see coverage that misrepresents our work and our motives. I don't know any tech company that sets out to build products that make people angry or depressed. The moral, business and product incentives all point in the opposite direction.